Okay. And I just wanted to go over something. I can't play it because you won't hear it, but Made to Express when he does Chowder. It was great. Great. A lot of his stuff, even the Pink Dog one, was really, really good. But the one where he does Chowder and it's the fourth wall, he said, or something like that. It was probably AKA the fourth corner, and Chowder keeps breaking it down. But SpongeBob is correct that it was a snail. So you had the snail, actually, and that's what's creepy, is like it looks so far off. Um, but I think it's Eumuk with a double K. Was a Sigur Eumuk did a video with a snail, a fox, a snail, and a guy named Peter. And it's not in the same location, but it's in Portuguese. And basically, the snail tries to convince him to fall asleep. If you go into like the Teresa Chevet's Bible, where Jeremiah becomes a bullfrog, because I loved Rango, but the one you got like Anthony speaking for different characters or whatever, but like the one that was the bullfrog can't see the can thing or whatever, the hawk in the can, right? That would help actually the chameleon, but the one that in the can sometimes doesn't always help you. Like my dog stuck his head in a can. It was a Chihuahua, but the Chihuahua didn't always help me. You know what I mean? Like, type thing. So the snail became the one that was a muck, like even worse, it was like a muck, like MUKK. So I just wanted to put that out there. I will put the video in Portuguese, but it's in English, but it's done by them, and I spoke a lot about this claw math from various different places. The media that I like is VV Witch for Old Caleb story is one that happened here. And then you have like The Witcher, which is a very old story about sort of the same thing. I do like that I got to meet a lot of the colonial eyes. Actually personally met Swift. Joe is a colonial eye. I pretty much met them in person. And Wanda, I met Wanda. And one is Indian, one is Mexican, and one is African, no, well, yeah, African American. But then you have famous ones too that you don't see. So you have various ones that have shown up. They have the eye a little bit this way. I've met some like people that have it a little bit, like this one guy with curly hair. He's light skinned, has it a little bit, but like one that's really strong is Joe's. Joe's is the Indian one, and it's really, really strong. Very strong when they look up at that fake Jeremiah bullfrog. Oh, terrible. Anyways, about the people trying to do the weight thing, I actually talked about like them trying to use, like supposedly overweight kids in the United States, right? To base a metric system on. When they gypped this world on something like September 29, 2012, and then you had this Metric, which is a really good song. Just a freaking excellent song about tough, hard to be soft, tough to be gentle about this or whatever, that was like, and then it was like, they're gonna eat me alive. Those type of things, like those things were our fear, and it really kind of really unmasked a lot of that stuff, and people shouldn't have those fears. They shouldn't have them. Let me think of something else that is positive. Rango was a really good positive one. That was a really good one. When you didn't know what was happening, what was going on, and I was still fighting for some reason, Jermaine picked it up pretty much too, and so maybe one of the Scots did. But he is an African American with a name that sounds like German. God, you know, it's weird. So that, you know, like to kind of blur that whole thing, because like that whole study with Germany and stuff like that. So he's got a name that sounds like German, and he's like African American. That was and it took forever, and everyone just thought I was fighting something or fighting everyone or being racist even or something like that. I'm like, no, there's something wrong. There's somebody missing right now. Okay. The food thing. I went into Beth Oprah thing. I think the Trisha Paytas what because you know, like, how do I explain it? Oprah was probably a one of those things, kind of like nostalgia. See, the problem with it is though that they shoot up like that thing I said about the horses and riding them while they're pregnant, you know, running them to the ground to get that. The two stories that you need to watch out for is like the one with the Solomon and the Amos thing, and the love is absolutely gone in this whole thing. I liked Roberto Baffo's actually breathing things, but I don't like it when they show it like it's a game. I don't like it when they do that. But they're being honest. I guess it was very old, but that one, let's see. I was born after the 85 earthquake, but somebody caught on to one of those probably. And the 85 one, the big one now, is stuck between Cuba and Jamaica, I think. Yeah. So they're still closer to the jamming side and not really understanding like those things, that it's just a sing-along game. But like, yeah, intangible. So then distancing, paling, the Jack and Jill thing, but only it's more like some of them really need it. Like the original Joash story really needed pale water. Grains. Aaron could be deaf, you know, your job still goes, but still you still have to say something to people that can hear, right? Right? Okay. All right, then the other things that they've used Michael for or get fascinated for actually came down to a horrible basically description on all the grams of what that looks like. The splitting for Mick and Eel. Then restaurants, all restaurants, Taco Bell, everything, just everything at the same fucking time. No. Grains. I am on True Grit now. You know, they're trying to do, like, you know, like when you see the people doing sometimes the worst they can, but at the same time something really happened and they're like crying, like, do you want me just to eat chicken nuggets in front of you or something? Like, this is called a Beth Oprah necro. And that is real. And I'm going to try to explain something, and it sounds weird, but like the tall grass thing where she says something about really weird to her brother or friend. She's trying to go to San Diego. And then way that other people have acted about it. So like basically some of them are fake though. And they're not lying that it's fake. And it actually may be, you know, a sad situation where they prefer to be with intangible people because the age group is cut off. When I say I'm age racist after something, and I almost feel like I go down to the day of my own day, that means that I feel like And I've dated and I've been with people who were not exactly my age. So you're saying my ex-husband was like an old ass dude too? Bam, that's where Bam came from, So even if something happened in your early childhood that you could get over and you could also forgive and move on and continue on, they would kind of go back. And this is when metric grams become absolutely mofo, stupid, no more dangerous. And there's men out there who do not need to be messed with, and there's women out there that don't need to be street oranges either. And guys too, but like I'm just saying. I'm going to, I guess, because they kind of put that in that situation, in those, if someone gets possessed by something, please don't. Darts were better than NBA and were better anyways. They probably still could be. But then they're going to get obsessed with the names, of course, in a situation like that. But I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go grab, this is witch hazel, Ayer, and it's made in 1847. 100 years difference plus your extra if you're into that thing, It was 65 atoms. It's a Henry one, though. Still a Henry. I have to fight my own babysitter to date my boyfriend type thing. Or something. This is like what I picked up on. And why did I pick up on witch hazel? I noticed that people wanted do the female Hitler thing, but only like it's really like hazel, true hazel. The other one will shoot up to jade, and I'm not happy with that because that means a lot more people were doing it than they should have, and that was why they got the snail. There was this snail that was putting people to sleep. It was like slower than a turtle type thing. But that also means that maybe the next time around, the people get to be more awake with love, hopefully. Because if you're dissing, dropping people if the one that stays with you is the one that tells you the horrible kid stories, but the one that was more loving has to leave, you have a problem. Not saying that they were more loving, but like they acted like they acted like they're throwing things inside a bag, pull it out and to kick the other one out, but it's not really based off of what's right or wrong. Okay, it's almost like betting, right? So I can't be overly mad or anything because some people are betting, but over here, and I'm not. But anyways, if they keep the one that tells them the danger stories only, there's still a lack of love there because they're only keeping it's all like scared to the only survival mode type thing, and that's dangerous. It's not good for people in general. So I got some green. What green do I have? I have true grit. I have grits. And they do have yellow grits, too, so don't, you get both. You can have your yellow too. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just posting out some good things. And by the way, it's Quaker. It's always been Quaker. They always do the Gaia thing, say they're doing it for the earth. And that's why I said I took multiple jobs. I didn't want these overpowering companies to start Beltazaring, so you really have like this big gap because they're doing fucking grams on people that haven't fucking graduated from high school. How do you get class warfare? Oh my god, 9th grade. Okay, whatever, bitch. Okay, fine. No, I'm just kidding. But then the other ones think that they're like illuminated on top. They ain't got nothing from the feet, all the way in between the feet, and all these bad things start happening to people. unholy spaghetti starts happening and it's all wrong. Okay? All right. So, and then like if you take it backwards all the way, they'll like food to like bulimia or whatever, it'd be like, but type thing. You'll start, even their food makes them sick, you know, type thing. Like they said this was really good food, and it is really good food, and then all of a sudden they're getting sick of their own food because there's not really any spiritual food that tells them the truth while everyone's messing around in cloud mind.